The 2021 Premier League season has ended. Manchester City are champions. Complete a season unbeaten away to finish second. 2020 champions Liverpool rally manfully to finish third. Chelsea survive a late wobble to dip in under the tape to take the final Champions League slot from Leicester City. Welcome to the 50th episode of your Sports Memo podcast. My name is Calvin Emeka, and it is my privilege to have you join us on this really special episode of the podcast. I have folks that I call my family on Twitter. I love reading their takes on their football clubs they support. So tonight, I have 4 members of this my family in the pod. In Southeast London is Doc Aye the Red Diva, a Manchester United fan and a friend of the pod. Welcome, Dr. IJ.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here again. Thank you for having me.
In Lagos is Bimbo Adekoya. I call him Arsene Wenger. He is a passionate Arsenal fan. Bimbo, welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here and to be on the cast with the crew today. Thank you.
Also in Lagos is Uzo Okoroma. He is a Chelsea fan. Oh my God, he actually need to be on Uzo's tail when Chelsea are playing. It is absolutely fantastic. Uzo, please, welcome to your Sports Memo podcast.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. And finally, in East London, is a sports fan, and he used to produce this program. He can produce it every now and again. Femi Kumuyi, welcome back to the pod.
Thanks, Calvin. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Where do we start? Dr. IJ, Juan Mata scores the goal that ensures that Manchester United... Wait. Juan Mata scores the goal that ensures that Manchester United finish the season unbeaten away from home. A few times in the last episodes of this pod, you have not been particularly impressed with the management of the club. But United have finished second, 12 points behind Manchester City. What would be your take on the season?
I think it's a mixed bag for me. I'll say it's a mixed bag because we finished second ahead of City, just behind City and ahead of the rest of the chasing pack. Mm-hmm. But if you look at our second unit, like when the first team is not playing, we practically don't have a second team. Is ridiculous to me how, like, when the second unit come in, we struggle in games. Even today's game we won, we got the penalty and got the goal that got us the win, but the performance itself was nothing to write home about. And Wolves, although some of the young guys they impressed here and there, but Wolves has had a terrible season and they were still able to push us to the limits today. But I'll say I've had a problem with Ole because at times when you want a manager to be proactive, to show you that he's reading the game, the way maybe everybody else is, sometimes we may see different things, but there's some glaring things that you think, why is it not making a move? Why is it not being proactive? If we think about the Champions League, the game where Fred already was on a yellow, but he left him out there and then he got a red. We lost the game and the rest is history. We went away, we couldn't win, and we got knocked out after being comfortably ahead in that group.
Absolutely.
And we were out of the Champions League. So many little games like that where you expect him to do something. We're watching the game and we're seeing something is not working, and then he just sits there and waits till the last 10 minutes before he makes a move. So many times we thought if we didn't have Bruno, pop up last minute, just throw a Hail Mary cross across the pitch and maybe Rashford gets on the end of it, we score and then we get the points and he saves us, or we get a penalty. And so many times it was as if we were a one-man team depending on Bruno. So there are many things that still show that maybe he needs more experience before coming to a club like Manchester United. You can see how many City has won 3 out of the last 4 or so Premier League titles, which for a club like Man United, it shouldn't be happening this way. We shouldn't be every season trying to look at Man City. Like today, my husband was watching the celebrations, and I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't stand it. I can't watch it because it's every season. I'm having to watch Man City lift the league or something. It's frustrating. So the season is a mixed bag. We can take some positives. We have Cavani coming in. The younger strikers can learn of him, his movements. That's a plus. Bruno has been massive. Luke Shaw. We got in. What's this guy's name? Do
you see the number of things you're actually itemizing already? Do you see that? But hold it. I'll come back to you. Uzo, right? Super Frank. There's this song that Chelsea fans sing here that I really love. They go Super Frank, Super Frankie Lampard. Right. Clearly, by following you on Twitter, you were not a Lampard fan, right?
At all.
Yes. At all. So Lampard gets the sack, and Tuchel comes in and uses most of the players that Lampard and Marina bought. Right, Chelsea have you know when we used to watch 100 meters boys, 100 meters on the Olympics, when people are dashing towards the tape, and they just dip last minute, like how Mary Onyali won her first individual medal at I think it was, which Olympics was it? Atlanta. She dipped at the very end. That's why she managed to get her individual Olympic medal at the Atlanta Olympics. Chelsea just dipped tonight to get that fourth place. Yeah. Now, what would make this Tuchel's season or this period he has had any better than Super Frank's time?
Like I tweeted when the game was on today, I said I knew Leicester were going to lose. And true to type, they lost. The thing about the EPL is the plot does not change. The script does not change. Yes, but they might have different plots here and there, but it's always the same thing. I remember over 4 or 5 weeks ago, I told a friend that, you see, the table will finish Man City, Man United, either Chelsea or Liverpool, and either Chelsea or Liverpool in third or fourth. And when people were talking about West Ham and all of that, I said, forget about that club. They're not going to finish anywhere near the top 4, and that is what happened. Now, for Chelsea, when Tuchel came in, you see, the reason why I wasn't a Lampard fan was because it was very glaring that he was a rookie and he wasn't open to learning. Because for me, I don't understand why you would be a rookie coach and have a rookie assistant. Who is going to be there to advise you? Who's going to be there to, give you those tips that will help you win games? Yes, right. So that was a challenge, and you could see when Tuchel came in, when the club started having proper coaching, when the boys were exposed to proper coaching, you could see that they elevated their game. Their level went a notch higher. And for me personally, although we've had a rough season, of course, no thanks to Lampard, but in the end, the last couple of games,
thanks to Lampard.
No thanks to Lampard, because we were ninth before he was sacked. We were losing and drawing games we had no business losing or drawing. Oh, no thanks to him. We're conceding every other game. So we are finishing fourth today because of Lampard. If you look at the Premiership table from the first game Tuchel took over to now, we are second. If yes, we are second and barely about 4 or 5 points behind Man City. Okay, so of course we are finishing 19 points today behind Man City as champions. Is all down to Lampard. Now for Tuchel, I think the pressure is beginning to get to him, because when he came in, he started getting the results and all of that. I think he became a bit relaxed and all that. But in the last 4 or 5 games, he began to overthink things, and it has affected us. We've lost 3 games in the last. We've lost the last 2 of the last 2 of the last 3, and it's going to be a difficult thing for us going into the final of the UCL. But hopefully we can get a result in that game come the 29th of May.
I'll come back to you. Right.
Yes.
I am going to tiptoe into North London now. I will start at the right side of North London. Bimbo. How do you see? I don't know how Arsenal, Wenger used to manage this thing. You know how towards the end of the season they managed to put on a run when there's nothing at stake, and they managed to just go like 5, 6, 7 games unbeaten. And I think Arsenal have won the last 5 league games. How would you sum up Arteta's season? What would you think is it the way forward? Sum up the season and let me know if you think it will be the way forward for your football club.
Okay, let me first of all start by the moment I heard Wenger was going to leave, my thought was, I told a couple of friends, I said, I will want Arteta to take over from him. And everybody told me I was crazy. He's a rookie, he has no experience. And I told them back then that Wenger had noticed that he was inclined into coaching. He was always asking technical questions. And that's why he fast-tracked him and moved him to the youth team level. But alas, along the line, Pep came and it was too good to leave. It was too good for him to come and join Pep as part of his backroom staff, and he left. But he did something because he got Wenger's blessing, because he knew that one day that opportunity. Wenger didn't plan to leave the way he left. At least we all know that. But the moment we got Emery, and from what we read now, Arteta was in contention, but he lost out.
Oh, really?
Yes. Emery got the job done, but along the line, he lost us. He lost the fans. I told a couple of guys, and I think I wrote 1 or 2 pieces on your site, and I said Emery was not playing the Arsenal way, the DNA. Interestingly, the day Arteta was appointed was the day that I was burying my dad, and I can't forget. December 20th, a friend sent me a text. He said, your man is in charge, and I was so excited. But summing it up, looking at this season, Arteta had what you call the honeymoon period, and guess what? He had a good FA Cup run, and that helped him won the Community Shield.
Yeah.
But alas, his biggest test was both what I call a footballing one and man management beat, was the Ozil saga.
Right.
He did not manage that right. Now, a lot of people will tell me that he had instruction from above and everything. Everybody knows that when you manage football in the mode of Arsenal, United, City, you must be able to marry all these things and be able. And he failed that test woefully.
Wait, hold on. What would you have had him do? Especially because, as you rightly pointed out, especially because it was clear. There's a possibility, because you're not the first. It was
a political decision that Ozil took a political position, but he could have managed the situation better.
I'm coming. Let me.
Okay.
I'm thinking that before he was appointed, during the discussions, the club will probably have made it clear to him that you cannot use this guy. And then if he accepts the job, knowing all of this, then...
No, interestingly, you need to go back a bit in history. When Arteta joined, Ozil was left out because of the debacle that happened in Baku between him and Emery. But the moment Arteta came in, he had a clean sheet for everybody. And when we reopened, go and check, Ozil was part of the fulcrum. They played together, and he knows the capability of Ozil. Now, people were talking about tracking back or no. You build a system based on the players you have. Yeah. But it was the debacle about the issue in China, about the minority Muslims. He did not handle that way. And to answer your question, I may not have all the facts and 110%, but from the little I've read and from my sources I have at the club, you could have managed those situations better by, having a discussion with Ozil and not just telling him to go train on his own, you leave him out. That caused a division in the team. There were guys that were pro Ozil, and there were guys those that would just, it's like an egg. You get there, you can't talk, and that doesn't. I've been in the dressing room. You know how that causes disaffection.
Yep.
So that's the first thing he didn't handle. And guess what? The moment he was not using Ozil, he was trying to play without a creative player, and it was so obvious in the team. He was, when you face the media, you're trying to put in front and everything.
Yeah.
But the matches was showing Arsenal was not creative, and we had the best number 10 in years. Now, people can tell you that Ozil has gone down and everything, but there's something I always tell people. Class does not just disappear overnight. Ozil was still capable of producing that class. The second thing he did, and I said, it was the Willian signing. Now, this is a look back. I looked at it. It's common sense. Everybody will say, Willian has Premiership experience and everything. We were trying to run away from the big, and we got Willian. And the data shows it. Willian was an absolute disaster this season.
Right.
And initially was trying to, continue to use Willian. But guess what? He was some homegrown talent from England, Saka, and Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah.
Emil has shown that he's capable, but anybody that knows the onions knows that you don't rush a young player in.
Yep.
You bring them
You
gradually, you
Yep.
take them out,
Yep.
and that's it. But they've shown that they can come back. Then the next thing that he did, that I looked at it, was tinkering, overthinking things. We all know Pep is good at that, and that's what makes him unique. He's learned under Wenger, he's learned under Pep, and you can be a man of your own, but there are certain big games that you don't go. I was shocked when we were playing Villarreal and we were trying to play like a false nine like Man City. We don't have the players to do that. Pep can get away with it because he has built that team over the years and he has players. We lost out to Villarreal without a fight, and that was on Arteta. And there's a popular saying that we talk in football parlance. The table does not lie after 38 games.
It doesn't.
We deserve where we are, and the buck stops on the manager's table.
I'll come back to you on some questions I really want to know. Some actions. I want to get your views on some things about Ozil, but let me dash down the Seven Sisters Road and go to
that other team.
Yes, let me go and ask Mr. Kumuyi. I think it was around November. I think it was just before the first North London derby of the season. I had a show here and I had Arsenal fans in the pod. I had Spurs fans in the pod giving it a large. I actually think when Spurs went to Anfield in December, I think they were top. They were top of the table. And these people were convinced that because of the Portuguese in charge, Spurs were going to win the league. Femi, how has this season panned out for you? Seriously.
Thanks once again for having me. I think the season finished the day Mourinho was fired, and I was so happy that the man had gone, because I think since I've been following the club, I think that's one of the worst decisions that Daniel Levy took in hiring Mourinho. If you remember, I think a year and a half ago, just after we had lost the Champions League final, I was with you and we were having a conversation, and I told you that there are rumors that Mourinho is courting Spurs, that potentially Levy can buy into this.
Yeah, you did.
And this was 6 months before he joined Spurs, and I was worried that because Mourinho is that kind of manager that if he's available, chairmen and club owners will start thinking maybe this serial winner in quotes might do the trick for them. So when the relief when he was fired and everything was so good, and I thought I will have anything when the season finishes just to get rid of this man and start rebuilding. I think the biggest mistake Daniel Levy has made is not strengthening when we were at our best. I think that will still go down as the worst decision is made. But this is really, really, really closely followed in terms of hiring Mourinho, because I don't really know what the man would bring. People say winning mentality, this, that, but it comes with a lot of baggage, a lot of disruption. So looking back at the season, we started brilliantly. We went to Anfield, top of the league, like you mentioned, I think. And then we went there and we sat back. We didn't even have a go at them. A lot of clubs had gone to Anfield since they lost their centre-backs and since their injury crisis, and really tried to take the game to them. And even before, they still had their unbeaten record going when we went there. But there had been a couple of lower league sides that went there and pushed them out to maybe to the last minute or get a draw or something. But we just sat down. We're just waiting for the final whistle to take our 1 point and run away. So that approach will get found out one way or the other, because we relied on this counter-attack. Son will find Kane, or Kane will find Son, we score a goal, and then we shut it down, and then we wait on the next counter-attack. There was nothing inventive, and they kept complaining about the Spurs forum. They kept saying, "Oh, we don't have the players, we don't have this." I said, would at the start of the season, would you say West Ham have a better squad than Spurs? But West Ham are going to finish above us. So that tells you something, that it's not really more about the quality of the players. It's sometimes the approach in games. We go to games, we concede a goal, then we start coming out looking to score back. We go to places like West Brom, places there, you should just take the game to them. And I know the Premier League is not a league where you just sit down and just predict results, but still, sometimes you look at the approach.
If you want to win the league, you have to be on the front foot, really.
Exactly. That's why you are top. That's why you are, you put yourself in that position as one of the favorites. So the season, I'm happy. The biggest thing for me this season is that Mourinho is no longer at Spurs, and anything that comes with that, I'll take it, to be honest. So yeah.
In that your Spurs forum where you guys discuss, I'm sure you've been invaded by worshippers who are different from I
did send you a couple of screenshots.
Yeah. What I would like to ask the Spurs faithful is that I remember writing something in, I think it was 2017, where I did write about Pochettino, that he needed to win something quickly, otherwise he was going to become a nearly man, and everybody was going to start to think, was going to say, because he qualified Spurs for Champions League, he's done great and all of that. Now, you mentioned that Spurs and Daniel Levy should have strengthened the squad. What I could not understand was, he strengthened the squad and then sacked Pochettino. What was that about?
No, I was actually referring to the season we finished second. I think there was a season we finished second.
He finished second to Leicester, but he didn't strengthen the squad.
No. He finished second, I think, in 2017. Yeah, it was 2017 where we finished second.
To Chelsea, was it?
Yes, it was to Chelsea, I think. Yeah.
Yes. And then he didn't strengthen the squad. He now strengthened the squad after the Champions League final defeat, and then ends up sacking the man who scouted the players. What was that about? What do Spurs fans make of that? What did they make of that when it happened?
I think the results was not good enough. I think the whole calendar year, I think we had not won any game away from home. Leading to getting to the Champions League final and even the start of the new season. So the result didn't really do him a lot of justice. However, in his defense, it was still about 12 games, and leading to Mourinho's sacking as well. I think a month before Mourinho was sacked, he had a similar run of bad results, and I'm like, okay, how do you... It's a very funny one, but personally, I think it strengthened the squad. But people were kind of like questioning Pochettino's attitude, that he was exhausted, the squad needed to be refreshed, the club needed a new approach. I think that Pochettino had probably lost that hunger, I suppose, from the Spurs perspective. A lot of things, I don't know. I think it's Pochettino himself that would be able to explain what happened, to be honest. But I still believe that they could have let the man finish the season. The worst thing will be out of European places, and we'll probably have a better way to judge his performance than sacking him, I think, 12 games into the season. A lot of clubs have gone to 12, 15 games and still kind of recover and finish maybe in the top 6 or in the top half of the table. So I believe that Daniel Levy should have left Pochettino, allow Pochettino to finish that season and then do a proper, reflection on what happened or what should have been done or what the way forward should look like. But, they brought this serial winner in, and I don't think much has changed, because I still have some people in this forum that would tell me that if Mourinho was the manager during the final, the League Cup final, that probably would have won that match. I'm like, we went to Etihad 3-4 weeks before that match and lost heavily. So what magic with the same set of players and the reason why he was sacked, well, I don't know, I wasn't there, but what I heard was he wanted to field a weekend team against Southampton, and Daniel Levy still believed that there will still be a top 4 finish, that we should put in our best team, we should try and win matches that is in front of us and focus on a final that would have massaged it. Because I was in a very confused state before that final, because if he had won that trophy, he has his argument sealed for another 2-3 seasons.
Calvin, let me buttress Femi's point.
Okay.
When Mourinho was available, and there were stories about him,
I was really hoping he went to Arsenal.
If you recollect, I told you, I said if Mourinho was appointed, I've been supporting Arsenal. It will be 32 years on May 26th. I said I will go on a sabbatical. If Mourinho was appointed, I will go on a sabbatical. So
I was willing it to happen.
Because everybody knows that any team Mourinho handles is about himself. He's about himself. And what I tell people is that, yes, you can get by for a while, but there are some young managers coming in. There's a local balance that I use in Nigeria here that I tell everybody. I belong to a group that we do. And I said, in the Premier League, nobody passed flogging. The way the teams dealt with Mourinho and his force, and there were some games he was clueless.
Yeah.
So I tell people that I did not pray that he came to. If he had come, I would have left. Right. So seeing him as Spurs and seeing him sacked, believe you me, I enjoyed every moment of that.
Dr. IJ, at the start of the season, did you see United finishing second? Where is she gone? The Red Diva, where are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry.
At the start of the season, did you see United finishing second and being in a European final?
Okay, on the back of last season, remember we got Bruno in January and he came and we went on this amazing run of games. We saw the instant impact he had on the team. I think we made 3 semi-finals, even though we couldn't, unluckily we couldn't get into any final. So there were signs that, there were like good things happening, There were signs that we could start pushing to challenge, even though on paper City has a massive team. I mean, look at their bench. They have a very formidable team. And Liverpool, nobody knew that Van Dijk will get injured so early on and practically threw a spanner in the works for their title defense. Well, that's not my business, though. I'm very happy they didn't leave. But so there was hope that we could be up there. Our team of people we had Cavani come in. Top-rated striker who knows how to do his thing. We still had Bruno, and Greenwood was coming through. He had gotten a couple of goals last year for such a young striker. We still had Martial and Rashford. On paper, the team looked good. So there was the hope that we could go further than the 3 semi-finals that we had. I wouldn't say I was too optimistic about winning the entire league, but to compete at least. So I would say I'm not really disappointed in terms of where we ended up in comparison to the rest of the teams. But the performances, their decision, for me, I think there are games that we could have, Sheffield. We dropped points to all the bottom teams. I think we dropped points to all the relegated teams. Those are games that we could easily be taken off, And then Old Trafford, thank God the fans were at home throughout this season. I don't know how it would have been.
It might not have been the same. It might not have been the same.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, it might not have been the same. Yeah, it goes two ways. It could have gone one of two ways. Imagine having this form at home and fans are there every week. It might, like, fans will start getting angsty, and it starts affecting the other performance. Like the team starting, we need to do something. So I don't know. It went. I guess I don't know. I don't know how. We can't say what would have happened in the end. How it would have gone, but our home form this year was absolutely horrendous.
Yes,
and I hope that they fix it up in time for next season. I'm looking at. Okay, so to answer your question, I don't know where your questions will go next. So to answer your question, coming in, I hoped that we would go one further than the 3 semis we had, and thankfully we've gone one further in the Europa League. Even though I don't want us to be in the Europa League, we want to be playing, in the Champions League and not the Super League, that rubbish Super League that those owners went to think up in their rooms to steal money. I just don't even want to talk about that.
We'll get to that.
Yes, we'll get to that. So I'm thankful we got into one final at least. We could have gotten into another one, if not the game against Leicester that we messed up. I think that was the FA Cup. So all in all, I would say it was a decent season, but we could have done better.
True. Barrister Uzo.
Yes, I'm here.
If there is one game this season that when you think about it, you want to tear your hair out, you're going to think, how did these boys do this? Which game would that be for you?
We had a lot of games like that actually under Lampard. the game against Wolves, the game against Southampton, we're leading 3-1, and the game ended 3-3. I don't understand. I can't understand it. Honestly, I honestly did not understand how that happened. And I mean, of course, the West Brom game that we lost 5-2 under Tuchel. Yes, those 3 games, but the Southampton game in particular, I didn't understand how that happened. Yeah.
But having said that, see, this is it. I don't know. Maybe because I have a soft spot for past legends.
Lampard.
When club legends, when they come back to manage the club. But except, in my view, Tuchel wins his Champions League on next week Saturday. If he doesn't win it, he's done absolutely nothing better than Lampard.
No, he has. We are obviously playing better football. We are playing better football. We're terrible under Lampard. We're conceding. You see, look at the statistics for this season. Last season, we had the third worst defense in the league.
Yes.
This season, we have the second best. Okay. That is a massive improvement.
How about going the other direction?
Yes, because Lampard spent well over 120, 150 million on terrible players.
No,
my position on.
No, I'm saying going in the other direction. Did you score more goals? Have you scored more goals?
That's what I'm saying. We brought in players who were supposed to be going to improve our attack. But between Ziyech, Havertz, and Werner, that Lampard brought in for well over 150 million, they didn't even get up to 20 league goals. 3 of them combined didn't even score up to 20 league goals. And that is why we've not been scoring, because we sign players who don't know how to score.
So
you can't put that on Tuchel.
So what has Tuchel done with them then?
Exactly.
What has he done with them?
What he has done, you win games from the back. What he has done is that we are now very hard to score against.
Right.
This match we considered, other than the West Brom game, the game that just finished earlier today is the second time that we have considered at least more than one goal against any team since Tuchel took over.
And how many have you scored?
That is a massive improvement. That is the thing. We don't have good strikers. That is the honest to God truth. We don't have good strikers. Look at what's it called? Werner, who creates chances over and over and over.
Calvin, can I come?
Wait. You will come in later. Wait. Uzo, you are saying to me that in the summer, exactly this time a year ago, when it was declared that Werner was coming to Chelsea, that you thought that he would fire this many blanks. Did you think he would fire this many blanks?
Yes. Yeah, you can. My tweets are there. I said I can remember vividly. I tweeted that I don't understand the hype around this guy.
Right.
That German. You see, there's something about the EPL. Mm-hmm. The records are always the same. German players, German forwards always struggle in this league. Go and look at the records. They always struggle in this league. Okay. The only time you see a German player doing well in EPL is maybe as a midfielder. German defenders, German forwards, they don't do well in this league. When we're signing Havertz, what did Klinsmann do? You can't. Klinsmann was
I disagree with you.
Well, that's but for me, they are not particularly good. They've been coming and going, and you see, this what's it called? This Werner guy. Mm-hmm. Of course, you see my tweets. He doesn't. The basics of football elude him. I don't understand how you are always in the offside position. I don't understand why you get clear-cut chances and you don't put them away.
Okay. See,
and that is why we have struggled. Now, Tuchel came in. Yes.
What I'm trying to find out is, okay, are you being more tolerant of Tuchel than you were of Super Frank? And this,
because
wait now, this tolerance is it because you just did not think Super Frank was going to be able to do the job? Because when we start to compare and contrast what they've done for the club, there isn't so much.
I would ordinarily see.
Well, the difference is clear though.
No, for one, Tuchel has a track record you can. Tuchel has a record that you can refer to. He has won the Ligue 1 severally. I mean, he did well when he was in the Bundesliga. He played in the Champions League final last season. That does not just happen. Right. Yeah, he didn't win it, but they came close. Those things don't just happen. Okay. Now you can't compare the kind of football we play now to what we're playing under Lampard. I'm not being soft on Tuchel, but again, he came mid-season. We didn't sign players. Of course, he came after the January transfer window, so he hasn't even brought his own kind of players. So he's just managing. You know that 3-4-3 is not his formation. He's a 4-3-3 kind of manager. But we are playing 3-4-3 right now because of the personnel we have. Yes, because of the kind of players we have. Yes. So let's see what happens next season. Of course, one would have shipped out like 7 to 8 deadwood players that we have, and he bring yes. We have deadwood players. Because I don't understand why Emerson is a Chelsea player. What's it called? Kepa, the goalkeeper. I don't understand how anybody spent £70 million on that guy as a goalkeeper. Right. I still maintain that was money laundering. I still maintain
Lampard. That was not a Lampard signing. You should understand.
No, of course. Of course. I know. What I'm saying is the personnel that we have right now. We do not have players that can come off the bench and change games. That is why we keep struggling. That is why you see we keep struggling.
Hey, how do you sit where you are, Uzo, a Chelsea fan, and you are saying this about the squad of players you have? Are you winding me up? What? How? How can wait, hold on a second.
But these players are not good enough.
No, if you're saying they're not playing well, I would even hear. If you say they're not playing well, I might understand that bit. Saying they're not playing well. But to talk about the quality that Chelsea...
No, they're not. We've not been signing well in the last 3, 4, 5 seasons. They're not doing well. These players are not doing. They're not top notch. Right. I mean, who can you compare in this Chelsea team to Ashley Cole, for instance?
No, you can't go that far back. No, you're not allowed. You can't go that far back.
No, but that is what I'm talking about. That is the kind of quality that we need in our club. Is the kind of quality we used to have that helped us compete at the highest level.
You want Dr.
Last season we finished.
You want Dr. Ide to start going far back? You want the guy to
let me finish. Let me finish.
Then we should bring Vieira back. We should bring.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is, you asked me a question about the quality we have.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, these guys are not just good enough compared to what we used to have and compared to the kind of the teams around us. Look at Man City, for instance. They keep improving. They keep signing the right kind of players. I can tell you that Man City are in the Champions League final this year because of Diaz, the centre back that they signed, because of that guy. The other time when they brought in the goalkeeper, you could see the improvement that the goalkeeper brought into for them. Same also when they signed a couple of other players. When you sign a player, a quality player, he improves your team. Right. Just the way this guy has improved Man United, this guy from Portugal. But who can you point to in the Chelsea team that we've signed in the last 3 seasons to say this guy has improved Chelsea?
So
maybe the goalkeeper Mendy.
So then how do you...
Mendy.
Wait, okay.
Rudiger, Mendy.
So wait, how do you now crucify Lampard then? You said in the last 3 years. So it means Lampard also didn't have good players. Even though
Lampard had a window last season. Lampard had a window and he signed 3 players that we did not need. Okay. Lampard had a window last season. He signed Ziyech, Werner and Havertz. I said, these guys are not going to improve this team. He should have gone for Victor Osimhen because of the kind of football that we play.
And that was after a year of suspension, transfer suspension, isn't it?
Exactly. I wanted to bring out something. Thank you, Doctor, for that. There was a 1-year ban. But also, you need to understand the club setup at Chelsea. I can tell you, Frank doesn't have the overall on who to buy to get this.
I thought they said he went to see Werner over 2 or 3 times before they brought him in.
As the manager, they would get his input. But there are people. Marina takes the final decision, and that's the structure of the club. The moment the likes of Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson left, most managers don't have those controls
anymore.
There is that football structure, and you don't have that rule. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, things have changed now.
But Calvin, I wanted to point out something that you said, and it's very, very important. You said something about you always have a soft spot for legends.
Yes.
You know, when they come back.
Yes.
I love them too, but I tell people, if you don't get your hands dirty and prove yourself, being a great player, being a club legend does not, and I repeat, does not translate that you will be a good gaffer.
Yep, true.
Exactly.
An example.
Maradona, another example.
Roy Keane is another example. And for me personally, I was praying. I used to make fun of my Chelsea friends. I wanted Frank Lampard to stay longer because it was obvious that the season that they brought the talented players from me, it was an upgrade from the season he didn't have. He couldn't handle the players. Look at the same Rudiger that you left out, Azpilicueta that you left out. They are the ones that Tuchel just came back and did what any manager with experience,
sensible manager would do.
With experience. Go back to the old guys, do the basic thing, and that's why Chelsea are playing how they're playing. But mind you, in the last 4 or 5 games, they've not been there. Any manager will have that honeymoon period. I can tell you, Tuchel was brought in to get to the top 4. He has done that. But I can assure you that if he loses the Champions League and the season starts next year, and into 12 games, Chelsea does not start well, he will be fired in Chelsea.
Right. Ivo, this is as you talking Chelsea.
But I just wanted to keep that in. Coming back to Arsenal.
What will happen, say Arteta has exactly the same sort of run he had going into November, going into December next season?
Okay, it's a two-way situation. I tell some of my Arsenal faithfuls that, number one, you need to understand the club that you're supporting and the current owners. I've taken out time to understand the Kroenkes. I look at their sport franchises, how they run them in America and everything. They are the type that they don't like the hiring and firing.
Very quickly.
So they don't do that. So at the end of the day, if that happens, and the fans return to the stadium. Arteta is lucky that he still has a job because the fans
were not at the stadium.
Yes. If they were, they would have made the owners to take a decision. I said he got by winning the FA Cup, the Charity Shield, and maybe that got into him and he wanted to, put. But if he goes on that run, I can tell you they'll dump him and get an experienced manager, which I don't want to happen. So I tweeted a couple of 4 or 5 threads on the Arsenal season because a lot of people were asking me, and I said, look, he was brought in to ensure that Arsenal finish 4th, get back into the Champions League. He has failed. So if he doesn't get that next season or goes on that run, he might likely get the boot. I pray he learns from his mistake. He has the attitude, he has the aptitude, he has the technical nous, but the man management, he needs to be able to get that in for the team to be going.
Femi.
Pep can get away with what he does because he delivers the result. If you don't get the result, you'll be fired. Thanks.
Femi. Mr. Kumuyi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry,
Right.
I was on mute. I was trying to unmute.
Right. Arsenal have a manager. United have a manager. Chelsea even have Tuchel. You guys have Brian Mason. And Kane is leaving.
Yeah.
Can you find something to cheer up your fellow Spurs fans?
Oh, just mentioned it. A new manager coming. Something to to be happy about.
Who is likely to come in? Who do you think will find Spurs attractive to come?
Ranieri.
What?
No. I personally would have preferred the guy that went to Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann. But obviously, when Bayern Munich come
very
calling,
arrogant. You're very proud.
Please.
You think,
but yeah.
you think Nagelsmann will come to Spurs without
I
a
know.
Spurs?
If Bayern had not shown interest, maybe we would. Maybe we probably would be looking at a club like Spurs, which might be similar to Leipzig.
Yep.
Might be, but in reality, with the kind of the economic structure of the club, Daniel Levy, I think it's written on the wall that it might most likely be Nuno that will be joining Spurs.
Will be who?
Nuno Espirito Santo, the Wolves manager.
Is that right?
It might be.
I suspect as well.
That won't be a bad appointment. That won't be a bad appointment at all.
It won't be bad. So it depends on a lot of things that is provided for him. And also, I'm hearing a lot of noise about the Brighton manager. I hope they don't go that route.
Not that one.
He plays good football and is 15th and all these things they do on Talk Sports that they used to rally all these people that make decisions.
Brighton play decent football though. Have you watched them?
But they are 15.
Spurs want to win matches.
But they are 15.
Spurs want to win trophies.
But you guys don't have the personnel to play the kind of football he plays.
What?
I would love that. Spurs to Brighton's position. That would be great.
See, there you go.
but let's pretend that it's Nuno. It'll be
brilliant. If it's Nuno, it'll be brilliant.
Roy Hodgson is available. Samala dies.
So Nuno, if Nuno comes in, it will be great. If we sell Kane and get 150 million
from who
I don't know who's going to pay that kind of money, but that's what I've been hearing. I think Levy will be difficult to buy Kane for less than what Levy values in.
Listen,
so
I want to end this show.
This is a global pandemic.
Hold on, I want to end this 50th episode on the 50th minute. So, Doc, very quickly, you've got 20 seconds. What do you want to happen at United?
We need at least 3. First of all, massive clear out. Jones should be gone. I love Wamata. I love him so much. If we can keep him just, squad position, keep him, but otherwise, get him out. We need a new Matic. We need a centre back. Lindelof is not working for me. Bailly is not working for me. We need a centre back. Let's see if they can, upgrade Maguire a bit. It's a much better centre back than Maguire, and then a striker. Let's start with those, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you. You were very harsh, but thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this 50th episode of your Sports Memo podcast. Thank you all so very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Pleasure here.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
And that's it. The 50th episode of your Sports Memo podcast. And it's been my pleasure being your host. And if you've enjoyed this, please feel free to share on your podcast platforms. I'll be back for one more. I think there's another one later this week, just to preview the Champions League final. My name is Kaviri Mekonwoka. Peace out.